Welcome back to video games. Tim Rogers here with Action Button Live. Streaming exclusively on the Action Button Goblin Bunker Network, accessible only at twitch.tv/actionbutton. The time is 6:48 p.m. Eastern. In New York, Manhattan. We've got snow coming down. Is there snow still coming down? I looked outside and there was no snow on the ground. I was gonna try to make a first they came for the blank, and I didn't resist because I was not blank sort of template joke, and then I couldn't figure it out. I looked outside an hour ago and there was no snow on the ground. And then I sat at my desk and then I looked outside again and there was snow on the ground. And I told Jerry, there's snow on the ground, Ricky. And she looked out the window and she said, oh, that's not so bad. And I said, a few minutes ago, there was no snow at all. And she said, well, if it's any less than like a foot of snow, it's just not anything to worry about. And I was like, but this all fell in a few minutes. There were no chubby flakes falling, no chubby flakes. I got this Celsius Spritz vibe, which is supposed to, I believe it's supposed to, according to the internet, it's supposed to remind you of mountain holidays. Drinking Aperol spritzes and getting drunk with your parents. You know, there's a certain type of white person who has a long catalog of meaningful memories getting very drunk with their parents, right? And I've never hung out. I've never been able to chill with those kinds of people. You know? It's not my social circle. Me and my mom used to get wasted on my birthday. And I'm like, wait, how old are you? like, you know, it was the thing. It was the thing for a while. We got Oni Spumoni in the chat. If you haven't filled out Oni Spumoni's yearly Goblin Bunker census, he'll link it for you if he can. Definitely get on it if you haven't done it. This is you know what? Can we just say this is the last time? It's the last time I'm gonna mention it to you. I have where's the image? I have so many. You clear all the images out of your OBS, and then they all just kind of come back. They all just kind of, you have 8 million of them. It's, I thought I had it in here. I mean, I know I have it in here. I have a lot of images in here, Rick. I have a lot of images, Ricky. And I thought I had them one. So it occurs to me, and I mean, occurs to me as in, as though it's some kind of big mystery, but it occurs to me that, there we go. It occurs to me that my stream on Tuesday was like the lowest viewed stream that I've done in a very long time. It had like the lowest number of viewers. And I think that has something to do with the holiday, with people generally being the sorts of people who view my streams, I guess, tend on the whole / at large to be the kind of person who travels. Or travels or does stuff for holiday week. Me and Mimsy were walking our dogs the Friday before, we'll just call it last Friday. We were walking our dogs last Friday at like 4:30 p.m. Okay, so right around sundown here in New York, Manhattan, and OBS is like completely fruiting out. The sound is not off. OBS is completely just like it's going haywire. It is going completely wild. Stop saying no sound. There is no sound. I'm not muted. Stop it. Oh my God. Like people keep saying it. We got Oni Spumoni, Cheezopath. Like, okay, there is no way it is muted. JJ Signal has just said its sound is off. I think your chats are, maybe I'm being very delayed on the stream. It definitely was. Well, you know, it was fine. Yeah, it's, yeah, the chat is coming in about a minute late. The sound is totally synced correctly. What? What are you telling me that for? Why would that be a thing? That's not helpful. Anyway, yeah, I had to move around. I only have so much room on one of the one SSD I have, because one of my SSDs completely died. It completely died during a stream, and then it's just gone. It died. I luckily did not lose anything relevant. Anybody who has viewed the Twitch, the VODs on the YouTube channel will know that a couple of the VODs are not as high quality. A couple of the VODs are not as high quality. Those are the ones that I was not able to get because the SSD died and I hadn't yet uploaded them. But they're still, I had to download those from Twitch. If you didn't notice, I win. If you didn't notice, I win. Yeah, well, I mean, I was able to get the sound sounding pretty good. So that was all fine. But yeah, but I had one of my SSDs. I'm down to one SSD, and it's very full. It's very, very full, and I can only have a couple of streams on it at a time that I have to move over. I only have like 1 terabyte free on it, and these streams tend to be about 100 gigabytes each, or for the raw files. And I do have you can't see it, but I have a lunchbox sort of turtle case back there that is that I keep old stream archives on 28 terabyte hard drives when they're no longer needed, as though they're actually needed for anything. Again, streaming's just a hobby, so it's like they're not needed for freaking anything. But anyway, get up in on the Goblin Bunker census. Get in there. Get in there. If you have a chance, it's totally voluntary, but it's if you're here, your family. You know, what can I say? If you're watching this stream, you might as well have your voice be heard. You might as well, because we're gonna need a more robust games of the year list than you know, I've been seeing. I've been clicking on a lot of game of the year articles on the internet. I've been clicking on a lot of them, and just scrolling down the list. I tried to play a lot of games that came out this year, played them on my own time in my own places, and I had a decent time playing most, if not a lot, if not most of them. I had a pretty good time. But I've been looking at some mainstream video game publications as lists of games of the year, and I'm a little confused and dismayed and dissatisfied, and not for any particular reason that anybody failed to please me, so much as I think, just among other things, it's just highly possible that my tastes are no longer perfectly compatible with the average enthusiast experience of the video game release year. And that's a little dubious and strange. There's a couple of games I liked this year, including, you know, we again have never once mentioned. I'm sticking with this. I have not I have not mentioned my game of the year. I have not mentioned it once. I have not mentioned it once during any streams. I have not talked about it with anyone aside from like two friends I've talked to about it, and not in English. So I have not had a single English conversation with anyone about my favorite game of the year. And that was fun. Was it fun? And I thought, am I some sort of contrarian, idiot kind of guy here to like this game as my game of the year? And I very recently decided, no, it's just that good. And y'all's all just that wrong. So while I feel, looking at some of the mainstream picks for GOTYs that are popping up like popcorn right about now, while I feel like a bit of a different sort of person, I also feel that I am correct. And I also feel like it's not me who got too big. It's the children who got too small, right? I will not elaborate on that, but I personally feel, here's how I feel. I feel like, please stop guessing what it is. Don't guess. That to guess is gauche. To guess is gauche. Don't make a guess of something that I've absolutely talked about on a stream, because all that does is indicate you haven't paid attention to every single stream, which is that's the actual game that we're playing here. Guessing is gauche. I'm not telling you my pick for game of the year because okay, hold on. Someone in the chat has said first of all, don't put quotes around it because you're paraphrasing. Don't put quotes around a paraphrase. This is how misinformation begins. But they put quotes around, I have information relevant to your interest, and I'm telling you you're wrong, but I think it's funny not to tell you. Never change, Tim. That's not what I said. I said I have a favorite game of the year. I'm going to enjoy surprising you with it on Easter Sunday, 2026. You have until then. I'm telling you that it's highly likely you didn't play it. So get out there and play some more stuff so that when I do reveal the pick, you don't immediately think, man, why didn't I play that? Well, I'm just going to pretend I've liked it forever. This way you can actually know what the game is before. I'm telling you, I'm trying to give you the opportunity to find out what the game is before I, a world-renowned tastemaker living in a filthy house, mention it, call it my favorite game of the year, and then it becomes mine. I'm giving you the opportunity to make it yours. That's what I'm doing. So your read, which you put into quotation marks, even though it was not even a paraphrase, it was a bad faith misinterpretation of what I said. It's, just letting you know. Go ahead and figure that out. When do I usually name drop my GOTY? I'm going to do more than name drop it. Easter is not on 4/20/26, unfortunately. Someone says, can we get hints? Well, if I give you hints, then you're going to feel like you solved a puzzle. I just said it's not on any mainstream. It's not a game that has appeared on any mainstream American critics list. It has not appeared on any of them. It's not appeared on any mainstream American critics list at the end of the year, which has confused me because I'm like, they had every opportunity to play this. They had every opportunity to play it. and they should have played it. And it made me upset. Are games not released in 2026 eligible? What does that mean? You mean 2025? You mean 2025? We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to. It's 2025, not 2026. I'm giving you an opportunity to be a little more adventurous and play it. Though how adventurous it is at this point, I don't even know. I will say it is absolutely not ball pit. No. Absolutely not ball pit. That would not be on my top 100. No offense to it. No offense. Lowercase J says it sounds like someone is being tortured on a medieval rack outside. I will tell you, when I have my sleeping earbuds in at night, and a siren goes by, so my sleeping earbuds play this bizarre, meticulous white noise, like oceanscape, rainy ocean sound. When I have those earbuds in and an ambulance siren goes by outside, it literally sounds like a person going like that. Like it gets all broken up by the binaural sounds, and it's like a faint groaning from the dungeon. A faint dungeon groan is what it sounds like, and it's like, shoot. It's very, very strange. I like how the Epic Games Store has had like some free game or another every single day for the last like week or so, and it's just like it's still not enough to get me to open. I remember when the Epic Games Store was brand new, and they were offering free games all the time, and I remember just people getting just so mad on social media. They're going, I don't want another launcher. I don't want to get another launcher. I only want Steam. Right? And I was like, what a bunch of Nimrods. And I got Epic, and I got all their free games, and I bought whatever was on there that I wanted/needed. And now, like, they're offering a free game a day for the Christmas holiday, and I'm just like, they really, like, even I have not opened the launcher to see any of those games. Even I have not opened the freaking launcher to look at any of those games. So it's like, and I was one of the guys going, oh man, I don't mind opening the Epic Games launcher. So stuff's gotten pretty bad for old little boy Mr. Sweeney. Little boy Sweeney. Things have gotten really bad for little Sweeney Todd. They've gotten bad for him. They've gotten bad for the demon barber of Fleet Street over there. They've gotten bad. They've gotten bad because they're trying to give you a game a day now. A game a day. Please open my launcher. Please open my launcher and download this free game you probably bought on Steam years ago. I'm dying. No offense to Tim Sweeney, but he's one of those Zuckerbergian guys who looks like a Daguerre type, you know? Doesn't he? Doesn't he look like he looks like he looks like he got his picture took at a street fair in old Paris, doesn't he? No offense to him. Would it be apt to say that using the Epic Games Store for a game that isn't exclusive to it is gauche? I don't know if we don't need to call everything gauche. But I mean, you know, for example, I have Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade on the Epic Games Store because that's where it came out. It was exclusive to the Epic Games Store for a little bit before it came out on Steam. Speaking of which, Square Enix, you gotta not do that sort of thing ever. How bad was stuff over at mom and pop Square and Enix's general store and NFTs on High Street that they had to make so many like under the table deals, like exclusivity on PlayStation or timed exclusivity on Epic Games Store? Like, what was the deal with that? That thing should have been on everything all at once. It should have been on everything everywhere all at once. And this is why I still haven't played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I still haven't done it. I still haven't played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Still haven't done it. Yeah, the Kingdom Hearts games were all released on EGS as well. And I mean, you know, it's fine if you get your stuff situated. I can press the command button here, and there's Kingdom Hearts. There it is, right? You know, there it is. I can just open it. It's not that hard. Like, I just press the Windows key and type KINGDOM. And there it is. There's Kingdom Hearts. Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom, the Prince's Edition. Ooh, Crusader Kings 3. The Witcher 2, Assassins of Kings. Right? All of that stuff. It all comes up. You know, it's not that hard to launch a game on the PC. I don't need an AI assistant. I don't need to say, hey, Siri. None of that. I can just open it up, and there it is. It's fine. It's totally normal to just to open it up. I occasionally will see the Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade on Steam on sale, and I'll be like, that'd be pretty good. And I'm like, what? Why am I thinking of buying this? I'll see God of War on there on sale, and I'll be like, I could get that. I'm like, I have that on the Epic Game Store and on PlayStation. I don't freaking need it. I don't freaking need it. But then I one covets, right? One occasionally thinks, give me that, right? Someone says getting a Steam Deck has caused me to end up buying stuff on Steam I already had elsewhere, etc. Yeah, that's how it goes. I bought a Steam Deck and then started thinking about Steam, and then I gave my Steam Deck to Jerry. And Jerry left it on the windowsill. It's over there in the case. It's on the windowsill. It's very cold. You could drink that Steam Deck right now, and it would be quite refreshing because it's right up against the uninsulated window. We have no insulation. The insulation has failed on the south wall and the west wall. The insulation has failed. So you could drink that Steam Deck, crack it open, suck it down on a hot summer day. So I mean, I gave that Steam Deck away, but even I am now tainted having played one video game for like 14 minutes on the Steam Deck, which was Yakuza 0. I played like 14 minutes of Yakuza 0 on the Steam Deck, and I thought, I should probably start getting stuff on the Steam Deck now. I should probably start buying stuff on Steam. I could play Kingdom Hearts on here if I had Kingdom Hearts on Steam. I could play Alan Wake 2 on here if I had Alan Wake 2 on Steam. I could play God of War on here if I had God of War on Steam. I could play Control on here if I had Control on Steam. I could play Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade on here if I had Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade on Steam. And then I went, wait a minute, that's just literally every game I own on the Epic Games Store. I literally just went straight down the list of every game I own on the Epic Games Store. That's what I did. I went all the way down the list. I was sitting there with the Steam Deck in my lap, hanging out in a Kamurocho, as they call it, in Yakuza 0, just walking around in circles, reading glasses on, and I was going, man, I could play Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade on here if I had Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade on Steam. For some reason, all that sprung to mind was the complete list of games I have purchased full price on the Epic Games Store. That was all that came to mind. I have hundreds of games on Steam. I could play Blasphemous on there. I could play Ender Lilies on there. I could play Deedlit Wonder Labyrinth on there. I could play Danganronpa on there, right? I could play any of my Steam favorites on there. But for some reason, all that happened to my brain was I started listing every game I'd ever bought on the Epic Games Store. And then it turns out that Alan Wake 2 isn't even on Steam. So that's all that I did. And then I gave the Steam Deck to Jerry. Is Alan Wake 2? It's not on Steam, right? It wasn't when I checked last time I checked. It was not. I have Final Fantasy VII Remake is absolutely on Steam. I know that because I'm literally looking at it right now. It's like literally open in this window. You can't make this up. It really is. Yeah, it's $19.99 right now, 50% off. So it's literally on there. Don't freaking mess with me. It came out June 17th, 2022. Oh, Alan Wake remaster? Oh, okay, yeah, the remaster. I thought when people say the remake, in my generation, Gen X, when you say the remake, people assume you mean Final Fantasy VII, the Final Fantasy VII remake. Control is out on Steam, isn't it? Yeah, I know that Epic like paid for Alan Wake 2, didn't they? Anyway, we have a beef in the chat saying you're considering buying what's it called? Metaphor ReFantazio on Steam. So I mean, I bought Metaphor ReFantazio on Steam. I'm pronouncing it in a stupid way because I'm an idiot. I bought Metaphor ReFantazio on Steam, and I never bought it on anything else because I've been primarily a PC guy now for the past billion years. For the past 5 years or so, I will do anything I can to avoid playing something on a console, even though it's been revealed to me, and it's been revealed over and over again. It's been revealed that the PC version kind of just isn't the right version 99% of the time. It turns out the canon version of almost everything is PS5 right now, right? That if you buy the PC version, and it's like we all know this, and we've all known this for the longest time, the whole can it run Crysis joke, right? Like the idea, the joke of can it run Crysis, that originated from the fact that computers couldn't run Crysis, and that new computers still can't run Crysis. My 5090, my AMD 9950X 3D with my 5090 and 192 gigabytes of RAM and my 8 terabyte SSD Gen 4 NVMe SSD still can't run Crysis at an acceptable frame rate and resolution. So there are things where you have something that comes out on PC that is perfectly fine at 60 FPS on PS5, and then on Steam it will have on modern computers. This is, if you were a console gamer and you don't play on PC, let this factoid delight you for a moment. On my monster PC, which again I primarily use to edit videos, very complicated, long, extremely long videos. On my phenomenally valuable, expensive, high-tech, cutting-edge like AI ready. Let's just go ahead and say it's AI ready and it's VR ready. And yeah, it's got some NFTs. It doesn't have any NFTs. I think NFTs are going to come back in 2026, right? The time is now. It's a buyer's market. My PC, it can't like even it like even on my PC. Most modern games that are ports that are multi-platform, they have what we call micro stutters. Which is kind of it's actually a lot worse than it sounds. Anybody in the chat who has a high-end PC can chime in here. A lot of these games now, especially games made in Unreal, which is an increasing percentage of Japanese AAA masterpieces. An increasing percentage of them are being made in Unreal Engine, and every Unreal Engine has micro stutters. Someone in the chat is saying, I got a PS5 Pro on Black Friday because Rebirth stutters on my PC. Yeah. So I'm the biggest idiot in the world, and I write these things off because it's part of my job. I bought a PS5 Pro when they came out, and I played Rebirth on it for a couple minutes, and I was like, this is good enough for me to finally play. But then they announced the PC version during the Game Awards last year, and I was like, God darn it, I'm gonna open up. I'm gonna wait for the PC version. I waited for the PC version, and I bought the PC version, and I downloaded it, and then I was busy at that time, and then a couple months later, I released a YouTube video, and I was like, well, I'm going to try to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on PC, and the micro stutters were soul-crushing, and I went down an endless rabbit hole of Nexus Mods forum threads on trying to tweak the engine.ini and all of this stuff to try to fix the stutters, and it did not work. And so many people in so many forum threads were saying it worked for them, and it did not. It did not work for them. They're liars, because they would be asked by the people of the thread, post a video clip, and then they would say, oh, I'm in my truck right now. I'll post a video clip when I get home in a couple months or whatever. And it's like, and then when they finally do post a video, yeah, as you can see, it only stutters every 4 or 5 seconds. And it's like, that's not what you said. You said it was freaking clear that it was flawless, you liar. So, and it's like, you may think, here's a freaking white guy with a college education from a Big Ten school who makes his living talking about video games on YouTube. Number one, I'll have you know I did other stuff before that. Number two, you may think here's this kind of freaking guy, and he's talking about how his $3,000 graphics card micro stutters on his video game he already owns on another platform that he bought the better version of just to see if he could play the game a little better. Privilege much? And the answer is yes, privilege very much. But also, y'all gotta figure out, y'all gotta see this for yourself. When it stutters, it's like, what are you doing? It's like you're rotating the camera a little bit, and then it's like the game just grabs itself and then lets go like a quarter of a second later, and the camera has moved even further. And it's happening every time you rotate the camera, every time you fight a battle. And it's just like, I didn't want to spend all that money for this. And again, I didn't spend $3,000 so that I could play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm definitely getting my money's worth out of this graphics card. By the way, no micro stutters in Witcher 3 for me. No micro stutters on Witcher 3. Witcher 3 runs, Enhanced Edition, runs freaking crazy. No micro stutters on Cyberpunk 2077 either. All of that is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna do this. I'm gonna time this person out because you misspelled my name. You're like, There is no D in my last name. If you're going to, for some reason, despite having nothing to say, just type my name in the chat, spell it right. Spell it right, or next time it's a freaking ban. Because I'm going to tell you what, I don't think you've ever made a chat message that was chill. I remember everybody. I'm sorry. I don't think you've ever had a chat message that was chill. Just smoke some weed, come on back. You got 10 minutes to smoke a moderate-sized spliff and come back. Thank you. Now, as you can see, I'm still not bald. As you can see, my hair is worse than usual. Don't make fun of me, and don't tell me it's good. It's not. I could comb it. I don't know who any of the YouTubers are. When people ask me about YouTubers, I don't know who any of them are. They're like, do you know this guy? I'm like, no. Why would I know that person? What was I talking about? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I still haven't played it. We got all the way to the end of the 2025, and I never played it still. They're going to announce part 3. People keep asking me, have you played it yet? Do you hate it? And I'm like, wow, okay. Stop asking me if I hate it. Why would I hate it? I think you're going to hate it, they say when I ask, why would I hate it? And I'm like, well, all right. Ruben Rebellion, I met you in real life and I know you're chill, but you don't do that either. Don't go around just misspelling my name in the chat. We're going to pretend, and let's all just accept the fiction that I don't like it. Let's all accept the fiction that I don't like. You think I'm going to like... Okay, someone's saying they think I'm going to like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm going to have a good time with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I don't know if I'm going to like it. There's again, remember, I make clean distinctions between liking, not liking, disliking. Okay? Liking, not disliking, and disliking. Right? Those are the four ratings. 1 star is disliking, 2 stars is not disliking, 3 stars is not liking, and 4 stars is liking. Does that count? Someone is saying Metaphor was better. I think those 2 games are trying extremely different things. And that's okay. Here we are talking about the games of the year 2024 at the end of 2025. Almost like you can talk about interesting video games for a very long time, right? Almost like if a game's interesting enough, you can just keep talking about it even years later. Much like the scholars continue to do with Super Mario Brothers 1-1, replicating it in all the new Minecraft and Roblox updates or whatever it is. I dropped a battery. I got batteries in my hands. I did not dislike it. Is better than I didn't like it. Hey, what can I freaking say? Right? What can I freaking say? I didn't dislike it. I didn't dislike it is worse than I didn't like it. I disliked it. I didn't dislike it. I didn't like it. I did like it. Does that make sense? Those are the scores. That's why you don't need more than 4 stars to rate something. That's why you don't need more than 4 stars. It's pretty good, right? That's how I've always thought about it. When rating newspaper critics' reviews of movies back during my childhood, I thought bags of popcorn is usually you want to give something 5 bags of popcorn. It's usually 5. Let me tell you something about 2 bags of popcorn, though. A classic. Last night, I went to the movies. So it was Christmas yesterday. I don't really do Christmas necessarily. I don't really do Christmas. I'm not a Christmas guy. I'm not. I'm not a Christmas guy. I'm not a family person. I'm not any of that stuff, right? It's fine. It's okay if people enjoy Christmas. But yesterday being Christmas, I thought, let's try to do a little Christmas this year. Let's try to Christmas it up just a little bit. So what we did was, me and Jerry, we went to have Chinese food in the Chinatown of New York, Manhattan. We had some Chinese food, which is a classic New York Christmas tradition. Honestly, it's a classic New York Christmas tradition where it's like, it's such a classic tradition that it's kind of unbearable to go to Chinatown to a point where it's like, wow, everyone knows this is what to do. So here's if I understand the lore correctly, Chinese food on Christmas is someone says they've all seen Seinfeld. No, Seinfeld's Chinese restaurant episode is not a Christmas episode. We got to keep our information clean here. Got to keep our information clean. The tradition of going to eat Chinese food on Christmas is it has its roots in New York Jewish culture, where because all the other restaurants, a lot of restaurants are closed, why not go have Chinese food on Christmas, right? And it has somehow, quote unquote, somehow, we live in the freaking TikTok age. It has become a thing of all persons in New York. It has become a kitschy thing to do for even people who don't have a religion or a family or any of that stuff. It's just become a normal thing for cool people to do. And I sure did see a lot of those cool people yesterday. We went to Chinatown, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this in the nicest way. I'm going to say this in the nicest, calmest way. There were an order of magnitude more people in Chinatown yesterday than I've ever seen. So, and I mean, we've gone to Chinatown and had some Chinese food a couple of Christmases, but there were so many people in Chinatown yesterday that honestly, I was like, wow, not only, it's not just that Chinese restaurants are open on Christmas, so if we want to eat out, we can eat Chinese food on Christmas. It's now, so basically that's how it is. It's Chinese restaurants are reliably open on Christmas in New York. So if you want to eat out on Christmas in New York, you should eat Chinese food. It was a two-step process. It was a 2-item list before, but now it's a 1-item list, which is, dude, you should eat Chinese food in New York on Christmas. It's a 1-item list now. So the thing is, Chinatown is there, and it's always there, and all of the restaurants are all always there, and you can eat at them whenever you want. But I honestly felt like a little bit of a sleaze just being there. I felt like a little bit of a sleaze just being there. Trying to click on my image. I have so many images in the OBS scene that it's impossible to click on. It's so hard to click on just the image. Here's what I ate. You can freaking deal with it if you want. We ate at Tasty Hand Pulled Noodles. And it was a pretty good time. It was a pretty good time. And these are my Tasty Hand Pulled Noodles, and those are some vegetable dumplings. And that's a Coca-Cola Zero with Santa Claus on it. So the Tasty Hand Pulled Noodles was, again, just more crowded than I've ever seen it. There were people waiting outside to get in to eat. It was just, I was like, man, felt like a little bit of a poser. Someone says you should go to some of the real good places. Hey man, freaking leave me alone. I live here. Okay. I've been to a lot of the places. I've been to those places. Okay. I've been to all the places in Chinatown. The thing is, sometimes you're with some people and you want to go to a place everybody wants to go. Okay. Like, let's be freaking real here. Don't try to show up in my chat and tell me to have a more authentic experience with my life that I'm living. Far as I know, I'm living my life and you're not. No offense. I mean, the exact opposite of offense. But this is what I would eat. And tasty hand-pulled noodles is good. Okay, don't make fun of anybody who likes tasty hand-pulled noodles. It's what people like. It's what people like. It's a very good, delicious meal to have. But it's I had those noodles. It's also, the thing about tasty hand-pulled noodles that's nice is it's very cheap, and it's very easy to get in and sit down and order, and it's fast, and you eat it and you get out. It's not some sort of I've been to many, many, many family dinners in Chinatown where you sit down in a basement and you're there for like 6 hours. Someone says, I spent a long time shaming other people for going to Chinatown on the same day I did. That's not what I did. I shamed myself, you fool. Open your ears. I was shaming myself. How uncharitable. How uncharitable of you. I was saying, just because I'm on a microphone and I have a nice camera doesn't mean I'm sitting here talking about how great I think I am. I freaking hate myself, okay? If there was a big red button to press that would erase me from existence and it would make it so nobody remembered me and I'd never been born, I would press it without hesitation, okay? Don't worry. Don't freaking worry about it. That's as real as I'm going to get on Christmas. It is the second day of Christmas, and we are doing all 12 days this year. Wait, you're telling me don't press the button? Come on. Like, you wouldn't know. The idea of the button is if I pressed it, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't even know who I was. Anyway, we went to Chinatown, and it was so crowded, and it was just so filled with people. And I thought, it just made me think, why did I wait until Christmas to go here? I ate here. I ate here once this year. I ate here once. And it's like it's a fun place to eat. And I ate there once. And this is how it goes when you live in what they refer to as a destination city. And, every time I've ever said something like this, I've gotten like 12, 14, quote unquote, true New Yorkers yelling at me and telling me that I'm weak and that I'm New Yorking wrong. But, I believe it's possible to be out there all the time, having great times, experiencing fun stuff all day, every day. But in my experience, as a person who spent his entire 20s living in a destination city, having good times all the time, and is now in his late 40s living in another destination city, basically the way it feels now is I live in a really cool city. I could go out and have a good time anytime I want. I could go out and have a great time any freaking time I want. So I don't have to do it right now. There's so much pizza here, I could go have pizza whenever I want. Similar thing happened when I lived in Oakland, California, where it was 75 degrees outside every freaking day. I was like, I could go outside whenever I want. I could have a really good time out there and enjoy the weather anytime I want. I could drive down to Half Moon Bay anytime I want. And then basically what happens is you never go outside, or at least in the case of a person who works a lot, it's like, well, you're never going out there. So in other words, I spent all of 2025 and I ate pizza 3 times. I ate pizza 3 times in 365 days. I ate Chinese food 3 times in in 365 days. And I cooked for myself, and I didn't leave my neighborhood most of the other times. So that's where we're at with New York. I have had, well, we're going to get to the popcorn in a minute, but I've had so much less popcorn than I would like, popcorn being like my favorite thing to eat. I've had it completely shameful. I have had 2 buckets of popcorn. I've had 3 buckets of popcorn this whole year. 3 buckets of popcorn in this entire year. Okay. And that's, I guess, yeah. So 3 buckets of popcorn, 3 slices of pizza, 3 plates of Chinese food. That's 9 tasty things I've had in 365 days. That's honestly, those numbers are very, very low for me. Normally, I would try to enjoy myself a little bit more. But I realized yesterday on Christmas that I've enjoyed myself much, 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 much less this year than any year of my entire life. I've gone outside and had fun far less this year than any year in my life. My literally, like, we're talking like all the way back to childhood. And man, so it's like, that sucks, right? And I'm out there in Chinatown, and I'm just like, everybody's here for Christmas. Everybody's here for Christmas. And so am I. And it's like, I could have come here. I could have come here any goddarn day. It's such a short train ride. Takes like 20 minutes to get here. I could have been here. I could go here and eat lunch. I could literally go here and eat lunch every day. And it would barely change my schedule. I have work tasks I could do on the train. Why do I need an occasion so grand as Christmas to go to Chinatown? It doesn't make sense. And therefore, it was with a certain sadness that I consumed this basketball-sized wad of noodles. And I had a pretty good time eating them, and they were very delicious. They were tasty. They were hand-pulled noodles. Yeah, that was my Christmas. And then we walked a bit. We walked sort of a lot. No, there's no New Year's resolutions. I don't do New Year's resolutions. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. But we walked a bit. We walked up north. We walked northward toward the deeper upper parts of Manhattan, which is phrasing it nebulously for people who aren't aware of Manhattan geography. Chinatown's down south, and you go north, and we walked up toward Union Square. And we had a slice of pizza at Joe's Pizza, which was open for some reason. I didn't know. So I feel like Joe's Pizza's open, and it's open. And we had pizza there. Let me find the slice. Where's the slice? Where's the freaking slice, dude? Yeah. Here's Jerry eating Joe's Pizza on Christmas. Wait, is this? Sorry, hold on. I'm trying to make sure my colors are correct on here. Jerry's eating Joe's Pizza. That's Jerry. Eating Joe's Pizza. So, I'm not a Joe's Pizza fan per se. I think there are a million billion better slices of pizza in New York. I don't know about a million billion better slices, but it's not anywhere near. So my primary experience with Joe's Pizza is it's the pizza that the management orders to the office when they want people to think that they have a cool office. And I'm most of the Joe's Pizza I've eaten in my life has been kind of cold, right? And that's partially a situational thing, but also every slice I've ever had on the street, I was not, like stopped in. Well, we could go to Joe's. Somebody wants to go to Joe's. We get a slice. It's fine. It's fine. but it's like every Joe's Pizza location I can think of, there's a pizza I like more nearby that I would rather go to. But we were walking by this Joe's and it was open and it was completely full of people. It was completely full of people, and yeah, it was like, wait, why not go in and get a slice? So that's what we did, and it was delicious to have a slice of pizza on Christmas. A little twist to the Chinese food on Christmas thing. Pizza and Chinese food being probably the two best types of food that you can get in New York, or at least we've got better pizza and Chinese food in New York than anywhere else in the United States of America. There are other pizzas that are good elsewhere, but New York just has so much pizza and so much Chinese food. So, it's we've got most of it, and it's all good. And it was fun to have that. I didn't expect pizza to be open on Christmas. I thought pizza would be... Our neighborhood pizzeria place was closed. Chinese food in San Francisco can't freaking touch Chinese food in New York. I'm sorry. It really just can't. It's fine, though. It's fine. It's just... It can't freaking touch it. It just can't. It can't. It just can't freaking touch it. So, almost everything around us on the Upper West Side was completely closed, but we were So we were down in Chinatown where everything was open and everybody was there. Everybody was there. Anyway, we then continued our quest to find a bathroom, and the quest took us all the way to the Lincoln Square IMAX, where we saw Avatar 3 in 3D. I posted about seeing this movie, and someone asked, what format did you see it in? Because I need to know what format to see it in. And I felt so sad about that question, because there's only one format to see this in. And let me tell you about Avatar 3, Avatar Fire and Dash. Well, we saw it on the big old Lincoln Square IMAX in 3D. And someone says, is it the format where it rapidly switches from 24 to 48 frames every other shot? Again, be careful with your words. It's not every other shot. It's every couple of minutes, there's a little bit of 24 FPS. Okay? Every couple of minutes, like every 30 or 40 shots or so, there's a single shot in 24 FPS. Just jarringly, it's suddenly 24 FPS for like 10 seconds. Honestly, it's almost entirely high frame rate. Almost entirely. But I almost can get my head around the logic of the lower frame rate moments. I can almost get my head around it, but not really. Not really. It's a little strange. It's a little strange. So here's the thing. I saw this movie, and I had a very good time watching it. It was 3 hours and 15 minutes long, which is a little too long. But James Cameron really knows how to pace a movie. So I feel like the pacing was fine. I always have my stopwatch going on my... Actually, what I do is I look up the length of the movie before the movie, and then I set a timer on my watch so that every time I tap my watch to turn it on, I see how much time is left in the movie. A little tip if you have an Apple Watch. And I would be like, oh, that was a nicely... tightly packed couple of minutes, and then I would tap my watch and it'd be like, well, that was 15 minutes. That was freaking 15 minutes of the movie. That was 1/13 of the film, right? So it really did feel like 13, 15-minute acts, which sounds like a little joke, but it's possibly not. So I had a very good time watching Avatar 3 Fire and Dash, and high frame rate 3D on the second largest movie screen in the world, or is it the third largest now? It's basically the largest thing. And it's the largest. It's a legendary movie screen, the Lincoln Square IMAX screen. The Lincoln Square IMAX auditorium is legendary for always having the highest technology projection. They have a 70 millimeter of some stuff. It's they have a lot of 70 millimeter shows. They did Oppenheimer on a film. You know, people were flying in from around the country to watch Oppenheimer on the Lincoln Square IMAX screen and 70 millimeter IMAX film. Someone is saying it's the largest in the country, about fifth or sixth in the world. Yeah, I know there's like Australia has a bigger one, Australia has two bigger ones. It's crazy. They got a lot of room down there, I guess. But yeah, if it's the largest screen in the country, that makes sense. But also it's I think it's also just the range of the programming they have there, where they do get a lot of the. I mean, I feel like all the huge IMAX screens probably get the premium showings of all of the big movies, right? Like they probably play Dune 2 on film in Toronto and Australia on the big screens as well. But it's they do some crazy showings at this Lincoln 13 IMAX, and it's that's where I prefer to see any of the movies that have IMAX in them. And surely enough, Avatar: Fire and Ash has more IMAX in it than you could probably ever ever get your fill of. It's honestly pretty crazy. I've never seen anything that freaking looked like this, and I've seen Avatar too. But also part of it is I got a lot to say about Avatar. I didn't think it was a good movie. I didn't think it was very good. But it was 1,000,000% worth watching if you have the opportunity to watch it on a massive IMAX screen in the dual laser projection 3D. It was easily the most chart-toppingly, derangedly insane imagery I've ever seen in my life. And for that purpose, I believe Jim Cameron should make the other two that he was apparently planning, that he said he might not be able to make. I would stamp my approval on him making the other two. Just let him do it. It's fine. Because he's doing stuff in here that it's just, nobody's doing this. Nobody's making anything that looks like this. It's freaking crazy. You can say what you want about the themes and the tropes. You can say what you want about it, but the technology, I overheard someone in the bathroom say, it's just more Marvel slop. And I was like, no, it's not that. We're a few dozen oceans removed from Marvel slop here. There was a trailer before the movie for Avengers Doomsday that was just revealing that Steve Rogers is in it. And it's like, we all saw that, though. It was on Twitter and Blue Sky and Instagram, and we all saw it. We all know that Steve Rogers is Captain America. The trailer playing as a reveal, like, obviously it's going to be some sort of freaking alternate universe evil Steve Rogers, like obviously, right? But to try to compare the amount of everything that went into this Avatar movie to Marvel is apocalyptic, man. You're freaking nuts if you think it's anywhere near that same level. Like it's completely crazy. And the imagery is deranged. Now here's the thing. Somebody I had an extremely hard time getting anyone I knew to watch Avatar 2. An extremely hard time. I went and saw Avatar 2, and I had basically a religious experience. I didn't really like Avatar 1. I thought it was okay. It's James Cameron. You know, he knows how to structure, he knows how to make a movie, right? I went to see Avatar 1 in 3D like everybody else did. I was wearing glasses at that time. This was pre-LASIK. So, you know, I had to put the 3D glasses on over my glasses. It's my first 3D movie in a theater. I didn't like it. I didn't like the 3D. Avatar 2, I saw post-LASIK. And, you know, that being on the link, I saw that at Lincoln Square IMAX as well. I had something resembling a religious experience watching that in 3D, in the high frame rate 3D. It was completely crazy. And I mean, me and my buddies, Michael Kerwin and Brent Porter, we were hooting and hollering every time they did something crazy with the 60 FPS 3D. Every time the camera descends and cuts into the water, and when a character's like walking like ribs high in water, and you see the water up in front of the camera, like you're looking along the surface of the water, it's just like, and that's going in the high frame rate, you're just freaking out and just screaming. It's you're so absorbed in the movie. Like it is a truly incredulously remarkable sensory experience to watch those movies on 3D. To watch those movies in 3D. But whenever I kept recommending it to people, they were like, I don't even remember the main character's name in Avatar 1. And I was like, it's Jake Sully. Yeah, now that you mentioned it, I do remember that, but I don't even remember, like, what's the girl's name? It's Neytiri. Okay, I remember that too, actually. I actually did remember that part. I did remember that part. But it's just like, I don't think that movie had any cultural impact. And it's like, oh, you're on freaking YouTube? You're on freaking YouTube. Someone in the chat keeps asking, did you like it? Will I like it? Ha, ha, ha. Like, I already said, go see it. If you have the opportunity to see it in IMAX 3D. Like, we're not talking about that part anymore. So it's like, I kept trying to tell people to go see Avatar 2. I kept telling people. I kept saying, please go see Avatar 2. Please go see Avatar 2. And people kept saying, no, I don't really want to. I don't really want to go see it. And I'm like, okay. And then people in this very chat were like, is that a bit when you say you like Avatar 2? People sending me messages on Discord, do you actually like Avatar 2 or is that a bit? I'm like, if you have the opportunity to see it in real IMAX 3D, go do so. It's good. Like, again, say what you will about the themes and the motifs and all of that. We're not talking about the plot. We're talking about a one of a kind, twice in a lifetime sensory experience. It is crazy. There is nothing. There is no sensory experience you can have in a cinema that is anywhere near Avatar 2. I'm saying this, okay? You know, any man on a journey toward the detail attentiveness equivalent of enlightenment passes pretty early a certain point wherein they can say there is nothing like this. Nothing like this exists, and mean it. right? They can mean it about just about anything. I can say there is no movie like this about literally any movie, and then defend myself adequately for even the most devout hater would be forced to agree with me. It is true. There is pretty much nothing like anything in this world, right? There's nothing like freaking anything. But that goes quadruply so for Avatar 2, The Way of Water, which it's just, I kept telling friends, New York friends, I kept saying, you just go see it in IMAX. I don't even remember Avatar 1, man. I'm like, I don't really remember Avatar 1 either. I mean, I kind of do. I remember all the characters' names, as I've just proven. And I do remember the plot beats. But even so, I don't think about it every day. And I managed to go watch Avatar 2 without having rewatched Avatar 1. Should I rewatch Avatar 1? No, don't rewatch Avatar 1. Just go see Avatar 2. I kept telling people this, and nobody did it. Nobody I know did it. I couldn't get anybody to go see it. Nobody would go see it. Nobody. And then, like, I think basically all of those people asked me when Avatar 3 was about to come out, I know you liked Avatar 2, dude. Should I go see Avatar 3? And I was like, man, I don't know. I haven't seen Avatar 3 yet. I assume since it was made at the same time as Avatar 2, it's going to have the same degree of technical wizardry, but also, and I've told a lot of people this about Avatar 2, which was, honestly, I don't even know how to begin thinking about watching Avatar 2 on a TV. I don't even know how to start thinking. I don't even have any imagination of what that might hypothetically be like. Like, I don't know what kind of experience it would be to watch Avatar 2 on a television. I just don't know. I just don't freaking know. Like, I don't. Like, Avatar 2 on an IMAX with 3D glasses on that giant, biggest IMAX in the country, completely filling my field of view. It was basically a Disneyland attraction that was 3 hours long, just constantly blasting you with sensory overload. Like, that's pretty cool, right? I don't know what that's like on a TV. I don't want to watch it on a TV. I've never rewatched Avatar 1. Why would I rewatch Avatar 2, right? I know people have watched it on the Vision Pro. But here's the thing about Avatar 3. I can't really recommend watching Avatar 3 if you haven't seen Avatar 2, because there's a lot of information you're expected to know. Avatar 2 introduces you to Jake Sully and Neytiri's family. They have multiple teenage children. Time has passed in the Avatar world similarly to how it had passed at that point in real life. So a lot of stuff happened in the world of Avatar while they weren't making movies about it, which, first of all, kind of a good way to handle things, I think. Someone says that you found his family annoying, then you're not going to like Avatar 3. But I think his family, I honestly, the family thing worked on me. The documentary style pacing worked on me. The documentary style jump cuts thing worked on me. It was especially kind of sensory overloading in IMAX 3D, high frame rate IMAX 3D. So it's, all of that stuff worked on me. But man, Avatar 3 really just kind of picks up and kind of expects you to just know that, just know what all the stuff, like who all of the characters that were introduced in the second one are, and it just runs with it. And honestly, I feel like you kind of have to see Avatar 2, because there's a character who's like dead, who in Avatar 2 who comes back, and that's like a whole thing. It's like, how are you back? And it's just like, man, there's too many characters. There's too many characters. And it's honestly one of the reasons why people don't remember a lot of their names is that, like, when they say their names, it's like not clear how you're supposed to spell it. Like, he has a son named Loak, right? L-O''AK, right? Like, how am I had to hear it like 44 times before I tried spelling it in my head, and I just turned out to be correct, which is honestly a freaking miracle. But, like, man, I've got to say, here's the thing about Avatar 3. The 3D, the special effects were as insanely impressive as ever. If not even more so. And, you know, we're not going to talk about the plot and the themes and the motifs, but I will say this. A lot of people on the internet are saying that Avatar 3's plot is way too similar to Avatar 2's. Similarly to how they said Star Wars The Force Awakens was just exactly Star Wars A New Hope. In the case of Star Wars, I think they're mostly wrong. You know, a little wrong, verging on basically wrong. But with Avatar 3, man, I don't really understand how they made it so similar. I really don't understand why it's like that. There's new stuff and there's new elements to the plot, but oh my God, you know, I mean, I listened to a lot of hardcore music as a youngster, a lot of punk bands, a lot of bands that are constantly described by amateurs as, oh, their songs sound the same to me. And I'm a detail attention guy. Like a lot. But dude, first of all, again, I had no luck convincing any of my friends to go see Avatar 2 at all. And I feel like Avatar 2 itself made a really good case for its existence. People were like, Avatar 2? I can't be bothered to watch an Avatar 2. And I feel like Avatar 3 is an even harder sell. It's like, it's even harder to get anybody interested in thinking about an Avatar 3. And it does. I feel like Avatar 2 made a wonderful case for its own existence if you just sat down and watched it. I honestly think people say they don't remember much of what happened in Avatar 1. You know what? That's good. I know there are some things I don't remember a whole lot of the details about. They're called dreams. And many of them have been some of the more meaningful experiences in my life. Dreams, the details of which begin to melt like snow upon waking. And then you go, basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you don't really remember that much of Avatar 1 and then you go to see Avatar 2 in IMAX 3D, the memories start to bubble back, and it actually just kind of, it invigorates the movie. It makes the movie feel more exciting to watch because you're connecting all these synapses that are things that the movie knows, and it forgives you. It knows that you probably kind of forget all these details, and it's just gently forgiving you for forgetting the details. It's very nice. It's like meeting an old friend in a deep dream. And I think that's kind of neat of Avatar 2. But Avatar 3 is just like, all right, you remember everything from Avatar 2, right? We're going to do all that again with some new stuff in there. And it's like, uh-oh, that's weird. That's weird, honestly. I mean, all the big plot outline tent poles are like in the same place in the movie outline. Like, I don't want to spoil anything, but Whale Crush Boat happens at the same percentage marker in Avatar 3 as it did in Avatar 2. It's the same characters making the same mistakes in the same circumstances for the same reasons, possessive of the same information. And it's just like, what are you freaking doing, dude? And I'll be honest, like, when the final action scene boots up and you start seeing these things and you're thinking, I remember Avatar 2. I remember having a religious experience with Avatar 2. This is good. It's like, okay, all the stuff you're seeing is legit. And it is the best, like, special effects action I've ever seen in my entire freaking life. Okay? I make no mistake about that. But it's just like, when the haters say it's basically Avatar 2, they're not freaking wrong. They're not wrong. And that's kind of sad for me, because they're not wrong, and that's going to deter a lot of people from watching the movie, which could possibly impact Jim Cameron's ability to make another one. But also, Jim Cameron made Terminator. Okay, he made Aliens, the sequel to Alien, and it's a totally different type of movie. He made Terminator 2, the sequel to Terminator 1, and it's a totally different type of movie. He made Avatar 2, the sequel to Avatar 1, and it's a pretty different type of movie. He made Avatar 3, the sequel to Avatar 2, and it's the same exact type of movie. If he does make an Avatar 4, it's gotta be real. It's gotta have something different. Like, I feel like this just felt like a big episode of an Avatar TV show. Like, imagine we have an Avatar TV show. This just felt like they're doing Monster of the Week. It felt like a new Power Rangers episode, It's like, and that's fine. It is, again, cannot overstate how meticulously made it is. You have never seen a movie more meticulously made than this. I would say this even more than Avatar 2. The meticulousness is freaking crazy. If he wants to make it into a 5-movie saga, that's okay. It's just the next 2 have to be different. They gotta be different. Like, someone is saying blue zone to red zone. Did you see the movie? There isn't a fire zone. They don't go to a fire zone. It's still the water zone. They still have to deal with belonging in the water community again for a different reason. And there's fire. There's fire Na'vi, but not really. They're not really fire Na'vi. They're kind of fire Na'vi. And there's a fire lady that's hot. And it's kind of, hot in a way where it's like, you all right, Jim? Like, you doing okay, dude? I mean, again, had a freaking fantastic time. And for me, again, we're not going to talk about the story and the motifs and the plot. For me, I see it. Okay? I see it. I see what the plot is. I see what the theme is. I see it. And it's in there. I see it. It's about family. And it's not just about family, period. It's about a specific sort of family thing. And it's nice to have a whole big epic action movie that's about a specific sort of family thing. But I feel like they keep putting stuff on the shelf and then taking it off and then putting it back up on this, putting something else up on the shelf and taking it off. And it's just like they keep shelving and unshelving their themes and threads. And it was just kind of a maddening experience for me to be completely mind blown with the 3D. But then there's part of me that is, and it's a large part of me that is 100% forgiving of the plot being exactly the way it is, because, you know, if y'all's a hater, maybe you didn't rent VHS tapes anime at Blockbuster Video in the 1990s, right? Maybe you didn't rent Ninja Scroll, Dominion Tank Police, Venus Wars, you know, maybe you didn't, it's just like, maybe you didn't rent Pat Labor, right, on VHS. Maybe you didn't see Gunbuster. Like, I don't know. It's paced like a freaking OVA. It's written like an OVA. It has serious OVA vibes. And to me, that's insanely endearing. Like, insanely endearing. That James Cameron made some of the biggest movies of all time. And in the year 2009, he said, you know what? Looks at his wristwatch and sees how long he has left to live. I'm going to spend the rest of my life making freaking anime. And it's going to be the most expensive movies ever freaking made. So, I mean, that's what the Avatar series is. It is 1990s. It is late 1980s, early 1990s VHS tape anime made for hundreds of millions of dollars that you can watch in the most insane format. He did not direct the Alita movie. He produced the Alita movie. Robert Rodriguez directed that. And the Alita movie was honestly Robert Rodriguez's best movie. I'm not even joking. I really, 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 really liked the Battle Angel Alita movie a lot. But you know, that's my problem, right? I also like really good stuff. Okay. Someone is saying, I wonder if James Cameron knows he loves anime. He does. He talks about it all the time. There is stuff in Avatar 3 that is so VHS tape anime coded that, like, it is just mind shredding. It is just mind shredding. Like, I mean, it's hard to even get into, but it's just like in the world building and the pacing and the dialogue, the way dialogue scenes are edited. It's crazy. The guy loves anime. He loves it. There's stuff in there where it's like, I'm not trying to sell anybody on it. I'm not trying to get anybody into Avatar here. If you don't want to get into Avatar, it's just Fern Gully. It's just dances with wolves, with blue people. Dances with blue man wolves. Like, it's like whatever derision you have for it is probably valid. You know, I'm not trying to get you into it. I'm just saying it's pretty freaking crazy that it exists. And all recommendability for these films completely falls off as soon as it's no longer showing on full-sized IMAX screens in double laser, high frame rate 3D. Like, all recommendability, I can't recommend. There's parts where humans are in submarines, like little like submersible vehicles, and then one of them gets its windshield punched by some sort of squid tentacle that punches through the windshield, shattering glass. Water comes flooding in. The water's like right here on the camera, filling up. The people are screaming, and the thing is tipping over, and it's all in 48 FPS 3D. And it's like, and when you're seeing it on a screen that's like 8 stories tall, 10 stories tall, 9 stories wide, whatever it is at Lincoln Square, like, it's just like, man, how are you going to watch that on a freaking TV? Like, the difference is so huge. But again, all recommendability falls off as soon as it leaves the IMAX. I would not recommend watching it when it inevitably appears on Disney Plus. I don't even understand what that would be like. And I mean, I recommend it to people. I recommended Avatar 2 to people, and they're like, I don't know. I don't really like the high frame rate. It looks bad. It's like, no, it's being used correctly here. This is the only one that is being used correctly. They don't make 3D TVs anymore. Someone is asking if you can still make 3D TVs. Like, I mean, I assume they do, but if they do, it's not being advertised as a feature. But also, the thing is, it has to be the full-size IMAX. It needs to fill your whole field of view. It needs to fill your whole field of view. Also, because I haven't heard anyone talking about like the particulars of 3D movie making, because I feel like, you know, as nuanced as critics are willing to get is, and it's, again, this is valid, but, you know, the critics are mostly wanting to talk about the themes, the themes and the motifs, and is it problematic? Is it toxic? Is it colonialist? Is it colonialist? Is it racist? Is it whatever? What's going on here in this boomer fantasy? Like, that's what critics want to talk about, and honestly, that's probably more important to talk about. But I haven't seen, and you know, in Letterboxd, people just want to make a joke, right? They just want to make like a quick joke and then get likes and get paid for. They get paid for the likes on Letterboxd. People act like people's out there acting like they're getting paid for likes, doing everything, saying everything they say like they're getting paid per like. We used to joke about writers getting paid by the word. Now we joke about basic civilians getting paid by the like. And that's, if that ain't a dystopia. Like, people want to talk about the more important things or the least important things. I want to talk about the middle importance things. The 3D. The 3D is great. And it's, if I have one critique for anyone planning to make a 3D movie in the future, which I know it is not the most common thing, every time they do a deep focus, every time they shift focus from one thing to another, like there's a character in the foreground and there's a character in the background and they're talking to each other and we're focusing on one and then focusing on the foreground and then focusing on the background, that is migraine inducing. Don't do that. I think you need to just flatten the focus in a situation like that. I think don't be pulling focus. Don't be racking the focus back and forth in a scene. If you want to draw my eye to something, do it with movement. 3D filmmakers, do it with movement. And I think Jim knows this because he like 98% hits the mark. But whenever there's a scene where they're trying to draw your attention to an object or a MacGuffin, and they do so by focusing on it, it's always like it's a head bender, and I don't think that's the correct. I don't think that's the correct way to do that. So, Jim Cameron, if you make Avatar 4, maybe don't do that. Maybe don't do that. Just maybe don't do it that way. Someone in the chat is saying, I've worked on 3D movies and the stereoscopic effects are mostly afterthought, often completely farmed out of house. Yeah. So, I mean, I remember there were just, people really, they went wild on 3D movies for a couple of years after Avatar 1, a movie that had no lasting cultural impact. They say no lasting cultural impact. Avatar 1, they went crazy. Everything was 3D for years, right? It was like every movie had a 3D variant. I never willingly went to see a movie in 3D. All those Marvel Cinematic Universes, like Avengers, the showtimes are split between 3D and not 3D. And it's like, man, Dredd in 3D was freaking awful. Dredd in 3D was terrible. Dredd is a 2D movie. The 3D in that was so bad. It was so awful. Like, it was terrible. It was such an afterthought. There were a couple of scenes where they were really, really going crazy on just kind of splitting the planes and having like something in front of something. And it was only showing in 3D where I lived. It was only showing in 3D. So I had to see it in 3D. And then once I got it on Blu-ray, and it was in 2D, I had a really good time just watching it in Blu-ray because it was a well shot, well lit movie. Well shot, well lit. Yeah, the slow-mo scenes were crazy with the 3D. Yeah, they were crazy with the 3D, and it's like, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Yeah, they renamed it Dredd 3D, and then when they released it on home video, they called it Dredd. I think it's a pretty good film. Cave of Forgotten Dreams in 3D is pretty neat. Anything filmed with like Jim Cameron's cameras in 3D is fine. Anything that's really it's like IMAX. It's like IMAX versus IMAX. If something is filmed with IMAX cameras, or if something is filmed in 3D and it's not all post-processed 3D, it's like I feel like Ang Lee Life of Pi was an interesting use of 3D because they're using 3D to do rotoscoped like the video montages. It kind of has this it has a really sweet vibe to it. Life of Pi, not a very good movie, but the 3D of that was very good. I did see that in 3D because it was not playing not in 3D, and my friend wanted to go see it. I saw Gravity in 3D because that was not playing not in 3D when I went to see it. So I saw Gemini Man by Ang Lee. That was one of the worst movies I've seen in my entire life, and I saw it in the 120 FPS at the Dolby Cinema at Lincoln Square, which was the only place where you could see the 120 FPS 3D. That movie was insanely bad. It was 120 FPS, and the 120 FPS was cool, but that movie was so bad it was insane. Like, it was genuinely insane how bad it was. I feel like Avatar 2 in particular, and Avatar 3. Avatar 2 and 3 learned a lot, I think, from the Life of Pi, if that makes any sense. I feel like there's a lot of Life of Pi coded stuff in there. But it's like James Cameron just had, I mean, Avatar 2 and Avatar 3 are what movies look like when a guy dedicates like 15 years of his life to working full-time on making 6 hours of movie. And it's pretty neat. Again, even if the plot just kind of goes full circle multiple times, the plot's just chasing its tail. It's very strange. It's very strange. I did not see Furiosa in 3D because I saw it in I saw it Dolby. I'm considering, like, I want to go see. So right now, Avatar 3 is playing in high frame rate. It's like 8K 60 Dolby Vision at Dolby Cinemas. They installed new projectors at the Dolby Cinema at Times Square. And I'm like, man, do I want to go see this again? I don't really want to go see it again because it's long. But I'm a fan of novel display formats, and I love the Dolby Cinema. And I'm like, do I really want to see what this, like, okay, so it's HDR. Okay, so it's HDR, HFR, 8K 60 Dolby Vision or whatever. It's like, I'm not sure if is it 8K? Someone's saying no, it was made for IMAX, not Dolby. I know it was made for IMAX. I saw it in IMAX, but the Dolby is insane. They made new projectors for it. They made new projectors. They invented new Dolby projectors for it if I understand correctly. And they've got one at my favorite auditorium in my local movie theater. And I'm like, I recently subscribed to AMC Stubbs A-List because it's actually cheaper than buying a movie ticket. As long as I see one movie a month, it's cheaper than the ticket prices. Like Avatar tickets for the showing I went to last night, they were $39 to go see Avatar in IMAX 3D. And AMC Stubbs A-List is $27 a month. So I got the Stubbs A-List. I'm like, well, I saved $12 for myself. Maybe I'll go, see it again. And it's quote unquote free. Bring your own snacks. Pay for the subway. Subway would be, $6 there and back. But I could see Avatar 3 again, I guess. Get out of the house in the middle of a blizzard. I don't know how long it's going to be at that Dolby, but I'm like, man, should I? I can go there and just kind of, I don't know. I'm interested. I'm interested in whatever this new Dolby 3D technology is. Someone's saying, I don't know if there's always a movie I want to see every month. I think there's something you can go see for whatever. It's like, well, I might as well see my movie. I guess for Stubbs A-List to feel like a good deal, there has to be something you want to see, right? There has to be something you want to see. And then it can't be like, well, I signed up. I guess I'll go see this new Marvel that's supposed to be nuts. Even though I hate those, I might as well go see it because it's free. It's not free. It's not free unless there is a movie you want to see. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to show up and watch Avatar on that Dolby. I'm probably going to do it. Show up, watch that freaking Avatar on that Dolby. I mean, wanting to see something, the psychology of like wanting to see a movie, it doesn't make any sense when you've already paid. So you're like convincing yourself, well, I've already paid, so maybe I want to see this. It's just, it's complicated. Anyway, I don't really want to talk about Avatar 3 anymore. There's I think I was talking a while back about how my SSD died and I wanted to buy a new SSD. And I had this SSD in mind that cost $999. Okay, you ready for this? This SSD that I wanted cost $999. That's an 8 terabyte Gen 5 NVMe SSD that I intend to purchase, and then I'm going to clone my Windows install drive and then switch my C drive out for this so that I have an 8 terabyte NVMe Gen 5 SSD, and this is the Western Digital one that has pretty good thermals, and anyway, this drive was $999 brand new, and then on Black Friday, it was $999.99, but they pretended it was originally $1,063.99. Right? It vanished from Amazon on Black Friday and then came back with its price increased. Its price was increased to, do I have it on here? I think I have it on here. I have it in here somewhere. Its price increased to, they claimed it was $1,188.89, right? When it reappeared on Black Friday after being missing for a few hours. A few hours the day before. All right. Anyway, I thought I would wait until closer to Christmas and see maybe if there was like a Boxing Day deal. The week before Christmas, it was listed as $1,169.99, but they said that the manufacturer's suggested retail price was $1,244.99. And today on Boxing Day, they're charging $1,049.99. So, what does this say? It says I could have bought this thing for $999 prior to Black Friday, and I could have saved $50. So I waited 3 months to pay $50 more than I'm going to end up paying, because I need this drive, because I had a project drive that died, so now I need another one. All the computer stuff is getting more expensive. It's just very funny to me. It's not that funny. It's not like actual comedy or anything, but it's just, it freaking sucks that they just, did they even outmaneuver me? But it's like, first of all, I don't know. They're just increasing the strike through price. They're increasing the struck through price. Not exactly in pace with everything else. B&H doesn't have it at all. So none of the big retailers here in New York have the actual like pro grade stuff for computers. Not that this is a pro grade SSD. You got to order this stuff online 99% of the time. It's like Newegg. Micro Center doesn't have these Gen 5 8 terabyte drives. It's yeah, it sucks. Anyway, I think I was gonna play a video game, but it's like I don't know. I kind of just like want to eat something and go to bed. You know, I kind of just want to eat something and go to bed. It is Christmas Day after. It's Christmas Day too. It's the second day of Christmas. It's the second day of Christmas over here. A lot of people have been asking me if I've seen Marty Supreme yet. No, I didn't see Marty Supreme because I live in freaking New York City, where where they have it in 70 millimeter. I'm not gonna see it somewhere else. I'm gonna see it on the one screen where I can see it in 70 millimeter, which just so happens to be in Brooklyn. Why would I see it literally anywhere else in a chump format, right? So that's honestly the problem with New York, is all these movie theaters, a good place to see a movie, but they have it's a good place to see a movie, this particular city, but there's always a particular showing in a particular format that is so much better, you feel like a rube for not seeing it that way. And that's what I want to see on 70 millimeter. I want to see it on 70 millimeter. I don't want to see it digital. I don't want to see it AMC laser. I want to see it at, I think, the only 70 millimeter showing in the world. That's what I want. It's not the world. Is it the world? Is it the world? I don't know. But I want to see it the only 70 millimeter showing. I got to see Marty. I got to see what that freaking guy's up to. People keep asking if I've seen it. I keep seeing people with ping pong balls on the subway. I keep seeing them. I got to see it. I got to see it. If I don't see it, I'll freaking die. But speaking of popcorn, I did have popcorn at Avatar Fire and Dash last night. And it was terrible. AMC popcorn let down once again. They couldn't pop a decent bucket of corn with a gun to their head over there. They couldn't pop a decent bucket of corn if their freaking life depended on it. They couldn't pop a fine kernel if the freaking building was burning down. They could not do it. Abysmal popcorn. It tasted dirty. It tasted slippery. It was soft. There was barely any salt on it. It was disgusting. Hatefully disgusting. And my root beer barely had any carbonation in it. But my prostate medication, I didn't even have to go to the bathroom the whole movie. I got out, I went to the bathroom like a normal, and it was fine, but I wasn't bursting. I wasn't bursting at all. So that was great. I will say the popcorn I had when we went to see Zootopia 2 at AMC City Walk in Los Angeles, that popcorn was a fair deal worse than this popcorn I had at AMC Lincoln Square. So, I mean, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know how hard it is to make popcorn. That's a joke. I make great popcorn here in my house, but, you know, I make it more of a bespoke style. Anyway, I'm going to use the bathroom and then I'll come back and we'll see what happens after that. I don't know. I understand everybody's probably really busy with their Christmas holiday things. Maybe me and Mimsy could go get some pizza. Maybe we can do that. I'll be right back in a moment. Hello and welcome back to my show. Jerry was talking to me, so I ended up taking a little bit longer of a break than I thought I would. I'm drinking a Coke now. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drink this Coke and then I'm going to go home. Or by home, I mean here. Usually Jerry takes a ballet class on Friday night, which is why I end up streaming a video game and having a good time or whatever. But I think tonight we're going to just, me and Jerry are going to smoke. I think we're going to smoke over here. I don't know what we're going to smoke, but I think we're going to smoke. Maybe we'll watch a movie. Not sure what to watch, but we might watch something, put something on. Yeah. Jerry actually went to a ballet class yesterday, by the way, which is funny. She went to ballet class on Christmas. She went to the one ballet class that was possible to go to on Christmas. She went there before we went to the old Chinese food factory, as they call it. I'll tell you what, around the time the stream started today, I was like, man, I don't want to freaking stream. I just want to keep working. I would actually go so far as to say that this was the first stream of this entire year where I was very close to just posting in the Discord, to just kind of faking sick, calling in sick. I was like, you know, I just kind of want to hang out. I was going to play some video games. I was like, I just kind of want to play video games. I don't want to stream. I want to just play a game. And then I was like, wait, can I do that on a stream? And then I was like, I guess I could. And then I just kind of was like, well, and then I kind of sat here for like an hour and a half working on a particular mundane task, particularly mundane instance of a usually mundane task. So it was, and I was sitting here, I had the stream all set up. I had all my lighting and everything set up, and I'm just sitting here like, I can start streaming at any moment. I can start streaming at any freaking moment. And then I was just like, I'm going to start, maybe I'll stream early and then play a game and then say, I got to go, guys. I'm tired, which is true. I am tired. But, we did it. We did 2 hours of streaming. 2 hours. I think this is probably, we probably had a lower number of viewers than usual, right? I did not watch the end of Pluribus Season 1. And if I had, I probably wouldn't be doing any sort of spoiler style discussion of it because I understand there's people who watch things at different speeds. Again, I'm a guy who still hasn't played past the opening hour of Final Fantasy, opening 2 hours of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is god darn shameful of me. I haven't even played it. I was so excited for it and I haven't played it. I feel like I freaking messed up. We're coming up on 2 years of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They're going to announce the third one. Probably mere months from now. You know what I'm going to do? I still can't decide if I want to play it on PS5 Pro or PS5 Pro or PC, or try to figure it out on PC. Here's what I'm going to do. Jerry, I'm not done yet. Okay. Oh, I didn't know if Jerry was wearing clothing suitable for appearing behind me on a camera. I'm typing up a message really fast. Hold on a moment. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, everyone. I composed a nice friendly letter to our good friend John Linneman. How did you like the sound of my keyboard? That's the Blackmagic DaVinci Resolve editor keyboard, by the way. I just sent a Discord message to John Linneman, and I asked him, should I play the game on, explaining the situation that I'm in dire need of someone's opinion. I'm in dire need of an expert's opinion. I'm in dire need of an expert's opinion if I'm going to allow myself to enjoy the video game I've been looking forward to the most. Honestly, I don't think I would really recommend I've talked about the DaVinci Resolve Editor keyboard on stream before, I believe. This is it. I've been using it for most of this year. I like it. I have used the same Philco Majestouch keyboard for 18 years, and I use Cherry MX Blues. That's my keyboard. I love it. This, however, has all the integrated functions, and on days when I'm writing, I'll use the Philco, but when I'm editing, I'll use this. I don't really like writing or typing on this as much as I do on any Cherry MX keyboard. I just don't. I do. It's tolerable though. It's fine. But whenever I have to like write a paragraph of text or write an email, I'm always like, I don't really like the way this feels. It feels fine, but what you get this for is, if you've ever seen the speed editor, they've got all the functions of the speed editor baked into the left and right hand sides. But then with this function row, generous function row that has a bunch of other functions, color-coded keycaps for all of your hotkeys, and the dial, which has some force feedback. It has very limited force feedback. I wish it had more. I got this Torbox Elite Plus that has really, really aggressive haptic feedback that I like. So you have those things. I've got dials by each hand. You know, it's fine. So you got all of that stuff, and then it really works out. And so for editing, like I would not use Resolve without this keyboard. Like at my current state, I would not do it. I would always make sure, every time I open Resolve, I make sure this keyboard is plugged in and I get my use out of it. And I sure do get my use out of it, let me tell you. But I would say if you make sure you know you like Resolve and are going to use it before you jump into this keyboard. This keyboard is $600. It includes a Resolve Studio license, but that's like $300. So you're basically buying a $300 mechanical keyboard if you don't like. Yeah, I mean it's not all. Yeah, I mean if you are all in on Resolve, are the switches hot swappable? I don't know. They're good enough for me to not have worried or wondered or looked into if I can change the switches out. Is the Torbox is in the same editing flow? Yeah. I mean, there's more. There's actually 2 Torboxes. So there's 2 Torboxes and a DaVinci Resolve Speed Editor, all in the same. Like they're all up here. But there's like a bunch of trash on top. I got my mail on here. My health insurance company sent me a letter saying, okay, so my doctor sent me a letter saying that they've been negotiating with my health insurance company to try to reach an agreement by December 31st, and no agreement will be reached. So they're telling me I should consider changing insurance providers. But my insurance provider sent me a letter on the same day that said, we're negotiating with your doctor, with your hospital system, and we hope to reach an agreement by December 31st. They're trying to trick me into staying subscribed until January 1st, but I've already disengaged from them. So I decided it was easier to switch insurance than switch doctors, because I'm already 12 specialist appointments deep in this little surgery that I need. I need to have a surgery on my eyelid. I have this cyst in my eyelid that needs to be removed, and it's very bad. Scratching my eyeball every time I freaking blink. You get used to it after a while, you get used to it. But then the doctor tells you have to get rid of it. The doctor says you have to get rid of it. You can't keep it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's nice that you've gotten used to it, but you have to get rid of this cyst because we don't know what it is. And I'm like, okay. They're like, we don't know what it is, so you have to get rid of it. It shouldn't be there. I'm like, all right, I'll do it. I'll freaking, and then I'm like, how much would that cost? Like, without insurance, about $16,000, but with insurance, free. And I'm like, okay. But the insurance is $2,000 a month. And I'm like, okay. Like, you guys are it's just a whole big bag of ripoff, It's just, They kind of just can't stop. A whole big jackpot full of ripoff. That's just what it is being in this life in this country. But yeah, I got to get my thing off my eyelid because it does kind of hurt. It does kind of hurt. It does kind of hurt. The ironic thing about Free Luigi is that I'm switching from Anthem, Empire, Blue Cross Blue Shield to United Healthcare. So I'm like switching to United Healthcare, which is like, no good. It's no good that they got it. I've been ping-ponging back and forth between Anthem, Empire, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and United Healthcare for the past 5 years. It's like every other year I flip-flop back just to try to keep the same doctor. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. This country freaking sucks. Anytime anybody starts talking about taxes, like, oh, your taxes are gonna get cheaper though, it's like they're sharpening their goddamn fangs for biting you in the back as soon as you turn around. It's no good. Yeah, it's actually a shame how United Healthcare is like a better option for me, and they're the one whose CEO got killed. It's just United Healthcare. It's a better option. It's a better option for me. Because they let me keep my doctor is why. It's not really shaving that part. It's okay. I'll do it though. I got this, I bought this at the store downstairs, odor fighting apple cinnamon soft mist technology air freshener by Glade. That's SC Johnson, a family company. No need to shake. You don't shake it. You don't even have to shake it. I'm going to tell you 2 phrases occurred to me when I sprayed this for the first time, which I sprayed this for the first time a couple weeks ago, and I'm just trying to get rid of it. Two phrases occurred to me the first time I sprayed this. Because apple cinnamon, I figure, is a pleasant smell. Our apartment typically smells like old air and dog, right? And then if you cook something, it smells like whatever you cooked for about a week. It'll smell like that. So why not, kind of plunge feet first into the fantasy of it smelling always like you just uncooked a big old apple pie, a big old Dutch apple pie. Why not make it smell like that? So I thought, I'm going to get this. I'll spray this. It smells... So I have their little cone air fresheners in the bathroom, the apple cinnamon ones, and they smell nice. The gel, the weird gel, it's supposed to last a couple months, but ours get real skinny after like a week because of the no ventilation. I think we have bacteria just eating them. It's a freaking bacteria feast. Bacteria can live on anything. They're them boys ain't picky, right? So I sprayed this in the air, and 2 phrases occurred to me off the top of my big old head. 2 phrases. 2 phrases occurred to me off the top of my 61 centimeter head. Those 2 phrases were this. Number 1, hospital candy. Number 2, euthanasia pastry. So those are the 2 phrases that occurred to me when I sprayed this. Hospital candy and euthanasia pastry. It smells really weird. It does not smell correct. It does not smell... I don't even want to bring reality into the conversation. I don't want to say it doesn't smell real, because really, is it gonna smell like real apple pie? No. The typical human brain, even one unacquainted with apples or apple pie, is gonna know right off the bat whether even the best smell coming out of a can smells like a real pie or not. They're going to know it doesn't smell like anything. They're going to know. They're going to know that this smells like nothing real. And it's like, I think the goof is, I don't think you can compress a food smell into a can. I don't think you can do that. I think when you get a smell in a can, it's got to be like some herbs or florals, at least, at the most. The most complex thing you can put in a can is florals, freesia, lavender, you know? I think when you have something you look at and you go, I need one of those right about now. Any kind of illustration on the package you could at the moment in the grocery store be hungry for, I don't think belongs in an air freshener can. Right? I'd eat that. I'd bake a pie with that. It's not going to taste like that, dude. The pie's not, like a real pie's not going to taste like this thing smells. Euthanasia pastry. So the phrase euthanasia pastry occurring to me as quickly as it did, honestly, I started thinking, what is a euthanasia pastry? Lowercase J says they sell that in Greg's. That's good. In Old London Town, they're big fans of euthanasia. They don't make popcorn scented air fresheners. They sell euthanasia pastry in the Greg's next to the cricket stadium. That's pretty good. Very good. I'm almost done with my Coke, my friends, and then it's time to continue the second day of Christmas. I want to go to London and just kind of smoke weed again, like a young man, like I did when I was a young man. Just go to London and smoke weed. I never smoked weed in my life, but I like going to London and, you know, eating curries and, you know, pop around the shops, Tottenham Court Road. You know, all of that. Go to the British Museum and say, it's all stolen. Really loud over and over again. Let everyone know that I know everything is stolen. It's very good. Full English breakfast. Somebody in the chat is saying, the worst offender is the Green Apple Dawn dish soap, which doesn't even remotely smell like green apple. The easiest thing to emulate chemically. It literally just smells like hostile Vaseline. No apple. Not even usual dish soap. Very upsetting. I cannot do a scented dish soap. I cannot get a dish soap that smells like something. I think I've just never been able to do it. I have to get the clear stuff. Like, I can never do it. And I also get the fragrance-free detergents as well for my clothing. Never get, scented dish soap is deranged. When I'm in someone's house and I see they got like a little bottle of like some sort of apricot scented Dawn dish soap or whatever, I'm like, what are you putting food smells on your food tray for? What are you putting food smells on your food plate for, dude? I understand the temptation because, green apple smells clean, people say. Lemon is the smell of cleanliness to people, right? Lemon is the smell of clean. Lime is also a smell of clean. And it's like, for me, lime is like the smell of like a clean office, you know? There's like this, the smell of like a clean corporate office floor. Like they buff the corporate office floor with like strongly lime scented floor buffer smell, right? It's like, I can't do it. I can't do, I just can't have that on my food. And it's like citrus, I just can't do it. Can't do it. Can't have a citrus smell on my food tray. So I just always use, you know, just a clean, fresh, scentless soap. Somebody says candles are the only thing that get close to the smells that they are trying to imitate. Yeah, and that's really disturbing. I don't want to walk into someone's house and smell like they're cooking a vanilla pie or whatever. And it's just like it smells like food, but there's no food. 9 times out of 10, you go into the house of a person who's freaking like burning a Yankee candle that smells like graham cracker crust peach cobbler crumble, and you're like, ooh, what do you got? This smells good. And they're like, oh, that's not food, that's my candle. And then you're like, oh, well, clearly if you have that candle, you also have the food, right? And they're like, no, that's an insane thing to think. And they start making fun of you. And you're like, all right, I don't know. Right? I don't know. I just, I thought, you're reminding me of this food and now you don't have it. And they're like, yeah, you freaking chump. Like, what are you going to remind me of this delicious food for? And then you don't even have it, right? You don't even have the food that you're reminding me of? You understand how disappointing this is, right? Right? That's why you can see in the background here, I have this Muji aroma diffuser. Somebody's in the hallway. Somebody was making some crazy noise in the hallway. You see I have this Muji aroma diffuser in the background here. That's my practical, as they call it in cinematography. That's called a practical. That's called a practical. So I put oils in there. And here's the oils that I like right now. The oils that, well, this room did smell like before I started performatively spraying the odor fighting Glade. I really want this to run out. It smells wrong. In my aroma diffuser lately for my holiday, I'm using cedarwood, wintergreen, camphor, and a little bit of bergamot. But the cedarwood and wintergreen combo, just those two, is very nice. And that's how you know it's beginning to smell a lot like Christmas. I'll tell you what, one thing happened yesterday that I thought was really good was we were on the train on our way to Lincoln Square to see Avatar 3 Fire and Ash. And the train stopped. It stopped at it was like, where was it? It was 50th Street. And the doors opened. And there was a man sitting on a bench and I looked out the door and I could see him. He was sitting on the bench and he had a trumpet. And I could see him. He had his trumpet case in his lap, like he was traveling, like he was like, it wasn't like on the ground where he's asking to put money in it. The trumpet was on his lap and he had the trumpet and he had it in one hand and then casually the other hand like this. And I could see him and he was just, and again, I don't spend all day thinking about this sort of thing, but I can recognize skill in a variety of media, and this man was virtuosically playing his trumpet very softly and very gently, as possible as that may be with a trumpet. And he was playing "It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas" on the trumpet with A beautiful, tasteful flourishes. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And then he went, everywhere you go. And I'm just like, yeah, dude. And he's just playing it. And he's just sitting there, like, leaning back. And he's just going. And I'm just like, shoot. And then the doors closed and the train kept going. And the guy over there kept yelling. And I was like, oh, that was pretty good to hear. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. It was just beautiful. Beautiful trumpet playing. But then I realized, looking at my watch, that it was almost 10 p.m. on Christmas evening. Not Christmas Eve, Christmas evening, Christmas Day night. And I thought, it does not bode well for us as a society at all in this country. It does not bode well for the future of this country that at 10 p.m. on Christmas night, it was only beginning to look a lot like Christmas. That's when I knew it was too late. It would not look enough like Christmas in time for the end of Christmas. And that's why it's so important that we do all 12 days this year. It's so important we do all 12 days this year because it was only beginning to look a lot like Christmas toward the end of the day. So we need to keep the Christmas going. Today I went to the New Balance store to try on some New Balance. I wanted to get some Gore-Tex sneakers because I have a pair of Gore-Tex Clark's Wallabies and I don't like wearing them. They feel too light. If anybody in New York wants a pair of size 11 black Gore-Tex Clark's Wallabies, let me know. You can have them. Actually, I'll mail them to you. If you want a pair of Gore-Tex Clark's Wallabies in size 11, let me know. I don't like them. They just don't look right with any of the clothes I wear. I'll mail them to you. Someone has asked, are they ugly? Google it. Take a look at a picture of them. They look fine. They just don't look right with any of the clothes I wear. That's all. They just don't look right. They're kind of like a hybrid of like a chukka and a loafer. They're a moccasin sort of shoe. They're interesting. They're like, what if a loafer was a chukka boot? It's a peculiar piece of footwear. I purchased them because they were very cheap and they were Gore-Tex. And I wanted something easy to wear when I walked my dogs. Something easy to put on. Slip them on and walk the dog. I said that like I was going to rhyme it with something, but no. That's all you get. Dress Crocs, exactly. So I was like, I want a pair of Gore-Tex, and also I wanted something with more support. I feel like the Wallabies are just too flat and too light. They're too light. I feel like I picked my foot up too quickly while wearing them. I'm drunk with power when I wear them. I just feel so powerful that I can pick my feet up so easily. And that's no good. I need something with a little more discipline, you know? Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I don't really even want to play a video game. It's Christmas and I'm giving myself the gift of not playing a video game. That's where we're freaking at as a society. because games is work. I will play a video game next Tuesday, though. How's that? I will. I'll pick a nice one for you. I'll pick a good one. Or maybe we'll do some Mr. Surfing again. Anyway, I'm going to go. This is a very low effort, like low quality stream. I will not play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on stream. I want to enjoy that. It's just not as much fun to play a game on stream as it is to play it by myself. No offense. When a microphone is in your face, it's hard. It's hard to enjoy a video game. No offense to the people watching it. It's just, it's very different, which is part of why I kind of just don't want to do it today. Again, I'm just kind of tired today. Because Avatar was 3 hours and we got home at like 3 a.m. And then I slept till like 3 hours. And then I just worked all day. Maybe we'll go have some pizza. Check out the Action Button Discord, discord.gg/Action Button. Get in there and we'll see if we got some pizza. We'll see if there's some pizza. If there's not, then, you know, that's my fault, I guess. I guess the supermarket's closed and it's snowing. This thing's blades, they shave when they detect the hair, so you got to get it just right in order to shave some places. Oh, I forgot I didn't end the stream. I thought I'd ended the stream just there. Yeah, just feeling tired, man. Lord. Feeling tired. Wait, did they seriously? Next Tuesday is the last stream of the year, December 30th, final stream of the year. Maybe there will be some surprises. Maybe there will be some excitement. There was none of that today. I kind of intended to just stream for 1 hour and then leave. But we got our money's worth here. I didn't run any ads, did I? Should I run an ad before I go? We're going to do it. We're going to run a 1 minute ad break. All right, we ran the ad. How did that go for everyone? Did everybody enjoy their ad? I made something like $500 on Twitch last year. And I checked, and it looks like that. So last year I streamed 1 day a week, and this year I streamed 2 days a week. This year it looks like I'm set to have earned about $220 on Twitch, despite streaming twice as much as I did the year that I made $500. I don't really think there's money in this for me. I don't understand why the money went down so much despite the hours streamed going up so much. I don't really understand that. The viewership also went up, but the money went down. I don't understand it. So, that's peculiar. It's just a fun little observation, I think. Anyway, I'm going to go and I'm going to get back to work and maybe eat a pizza. And there's a little thing we like to say around here, which is smoke it deep and smoke it sweet. Smoking that weed down Baby Boy Street. Smoke it wild and smoke it grand. They be smoking good ones all over this land. Smoke a good one tonight. Smoke a good one tonight. Smoke a good one tonight if the feeling is right. Smoke a good one tonight. Smoke a good one tonight. Smoke a good one. Good night.